Before I play the audios to this video, let me give a shout out to Tonda for sending me the story.
This vibrant young woman who loved to work out thought she'd met the man of her dreams, but their first date has turned into a tragedy. 31-year-old Angela Tremonti started her online flirtation 2 months ago on Instagram. Dario Dizdar seemed quite the catch. Handsome, charming, and he was a police officer from Phoenix. Last week, she flew from her home in Boston to Phoenix to meet him for the first time.
She was excited. She was a little nervous at first because she's never done this before.
Their first date was a hike up Camelback Mountain. The temperature that day was 105 degrees.
She did know that she was going to go hiking. She has never gone hiking before.
About halfway into the hike, Angela apparently got overheated. Now, this is where the incident is raising all sorts of questions. Angela headed back to the car, but he didn't go with her. Instead, he continued with the hike. She never made it. She collapsed, apparently from heat exhaustion. Search teams found Angela's body near a home off the trail, where it's believed she went to get help. You can see Dizdar at the scene where she was found. Her friends back in Boston are devastated.
Anyone would have walked back down that mountain if they saw that the person that they were with was in distress, wasn't feeling well. You just don't let them walk down alone.
Authorities don't suspect foul play, but Dizdar has taken a leave of absence. Angela's friends want answers.
You enter together, you're supposed to end it together. That's it.
Okay, so y'all just heard that audio right there. And I'll admit, when Tonda first sent me this audio or this video to do a story on, I thought in my mind, did he take her out and then just dispose of her body or leave her body there? At this point, he might as well have done that, considering listening to that. This is actually way worse, because he just let her body just lie there, and he kept on like going. He didn't go to check on her. He didn't go back with her, anything like that. And this is a true display of looks can be deceiving. This is exactly why a lot of people should be very wary when they are meeting people online to, try to start a conversation with that hopefully can lead into something else. Not saying it doesn't happen for everybody, because for some people they luck up and it actually might work. But in some cases, like this one, it doesn't work. So she saw this guy that she was talking to on Instagram. It sounds like to me the fact that she even flew out to him and not the other way around. It sounds like to me she was the one that shot her shot first before he had a chance to shoot anything. Hopped on the plane, went out there to meet him. And you heard her friend say in the audio that she was a bit nervous about going out there. So that means even she was having her doubts about going to fly across the country at that, to another location in another time zone, maybe into a place she's never even been to before, to go meet someone she's only talked to and had conversations with online. But it sounds like to me she was attracted to his looks and the fact that he was a cop. So she probably felt that there was a level of protection there that she could get with this guy because he was a cop. Man, unfortunately, was she ever wrong. So they went hiking. Her friend said that she never been hiking before, but that's okay, because, when you get into relationships, you are exposed to some things that you've never done before that you are willing to try, if it's within reason. So she probably thought nothing of it. However, I would have looked at that temperature and saw that it was too hot for a hike. They said it was 5 or 8 degrees. That's too hot for a hike. That is way, way too hot. Like, if you're going to do a hike on a day like that, you would have to go early in the morning where it's not as hot, or just wait for a day when it's not going to be that hot at all. That right there was way too much. So, they go hiking. She stops because she was complaining about it being heat exhaustion. At that moment, the hike should have ended. There shouldn't have been any more time to keep on going on that hike. But instead of going back with her, he keeps going on the hike, and then she passes out on the trail from heat exhaustion, and she dies. And he just kept going. And when they were showing the visuals of it, y'all didn't see it. He was actually there. They didn't talk to him. He was there while he was on the phone. Who he was talking to, I'm not entirely sure. Let this be a lesson out there for a lot of women who are enamored by a lot of the things that they see on social media. People can put anything they want on social media and give you a whole facade of a person. And then you meet them in person, and it's like many of them have the personality of a dial tone. And then you realize that this person isn't exactly who you thought. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, who y'all get from me on social media or on these videos is exactly who you will get in real life. As a matter of fact, to be honest, I'm actually a person who loves to laugh, believe it or not. So sometimes if you're cracking a joke, I'm cracking jokes right back at you. So like, you know, it is what it is. So you actually get more out of me offline than you do online, to be quite honest. So I definitely am not a boring person by any means whatsoever. But she apparently was, like I said, enamored by what she saw. And then she experienced this as in reality when she met him in person. And it makes you wonder if she caught on to any other red flags before they even went on this hike. It makes you wonder, what did they talk about? Like, what did they talk about with each other online? What did they talk to each other about when she landed? And mind you, this was on the first date. This was not the second date, the third date, or, you know, or anything like that. This was on their first encounter with each other. I think that's something else that's making people raise a bunch of red flags about this entire situation, was that it happened on the first encounter that they had with each other. It wasn't a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, or whatever the case may be. This is the first time they have ever met in person. And on the first date that they have, which could have been a great one, turned out to be a nightmare, more so for her than him. And he basically in that moment displayed extreme narcissistic behaviors because he didn't care about her. If he did, he would have went back with her from the hike and just said, okay, we're going to end it right here. We can just find something else to do, maybe in a cooler environment. But no, he kept going. So I'm going to also have to say this to the ladies out there who are, and I know it's not going to appeal to my audience of women, but I'm just going to put it out there. If you come across this guy right here, just beware that if there's a situation where you feel like you're stranded, or anything like that, such as going on a hike with this guy, it's probably best that you don't go with this guy on a hike, or don't even go and entertain this guy at all. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this guy had a string of women already and she wasn't the only one, but he probably led her on thinking that she was the only one. Like I said, he probably had his pick of the litter, and I bet you she wasn't the only woman he was talking to. But in her mind, she probably was. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.